Are you using the Google Sheet to plan your leveling? Wondering how others do this and whether you're missing something? Today we'll walk through a typical monthly planning session so you can learn how to do it. Hello everyone. I've been using my own Google Sheets for quite some time now, and I wanted to talk a little bit about how I plan out my monthly leveling of my characters. I do this at the start of every month and then adjust slightly as I'm getting through the month depending on new information. For example, one of the big things I'm looking at is the monthly calendar from Snowprint that shows us when the new events are coming. As this drops a little bit after the month starts, I will usually look to see if something has changed, like a new tournament arena, a guild raid boss, or a new legendary event. However, there are a few things I will always do anyway, and I wanted to walk you through my process today. This will be a little bit of a longer video than usual, but it'll be easy to consume in sections, and I'll try to keep it on point as usual. Let's start with the what. What will I be looking at? On the right hand side of my character planner, I have a little space for adding some notes for myself, and at the start of the month I will sit down with all my sheets and look at the following areas. Which characters I will grind character shards for, which character's rarity I want to level up, and by that I just mean which characters I'm trying to get to gold or silver, who I want to ascend, and whose skills I am focused on bringing up a little bit. Sometimes there are dependencies there, so I can't level someone up or increase their skills until I send them, but usually it's pretty clear what I'm trying to do. Let's go through these one at a time, starting with the easiest one, character shards. So my strategy for collecting character shards is to keep opening characters until I have all of the characters that take less than 500 shards opened up. So for me, I won't bother trying to open Morven Val, Castellan Creed, or High Marshal Hellbresh because I think grinding for them for 3 months is just not really fun. Looking at the characters I don't own yet, I'm currently trying to open Anufet, Thaumachius, and Brother Jaeger. I don't want to impact the leveling of my character's rarity too much, so I will only ever do 2 at the absolute maximum and usually only 1. I will also try and focus on the ones I feel are most useful to me now. That means currently it's Anufet, then Thaumachius, then Brother Jaeger. The reason for Anufet is that I'm missing a 5th character for the On-Shi legendary event where the alpha track has the Necrons only battle. Also, he'll be really useful in the Necrons Elite campaign that we got recently. I always want to be pushing on with the campaigns as far as possible so that I can get items easier and then level my team more quickly. Next, I will look at the main goals for the month, who I want to level to silver or gold. Firstly, I will try to predict the legendary event that's coming up. This time we will either have Shadowsun's second event or a new legendary event. Since I don't know what battles would be in a new legendary event, I'm just going to presume it's Shadowsun's and then adjust later if it isn't. So let's look at where I am with the Shadowsun event. In the first event, I managed to get 100 shards and got pretty far through it. Anywhere there is a red block means that I got stuck and didn't manage to complete that battle. So definitely an area I will want to be focusing on improving. Usually I would just focus on trying to minimize my token usage and maximize my core and holes teams. But as I'm near to opening Shadowsun, I'll just focus on pushing as far as I can with the weakest battles in order to maximize the points I can get. So let's look at the different battles that will make a difference in order of the highest points to lowest points. I'm going to focus on the Beta Astra Militarum battle for 120 points, Gamma Black Legion battle for 120 points, Alpha Big Target for 115 points, Gamma Power for 100 points, Beta Mech for 90 points, and the Alpha minimum 4 hits and power battles for 80 points. If I focus on getting these closer to stage 9, then I'm going to be in pretty good shape for opening Shadowsun this month. So let's go through each battle together. Firstly, we want to look at the Beta Astra Militarum battle. The auto-suggested team is showing the only team I can pick as I don't have Castellan Creed, so I guess we go with Commissar Yarrick, Cuts Skoden, Sybil Divine, and Thaddeus Noble. As you can see though, Cuts, Sybil and Thaddeus are only bronze, and I really need to level them up further to at least silver, if not more. It's a similar story for Gamma Black Legion battle. I have Angrax at gold, but Archimatos and Harkin are only at silver, then Volk is at bronze, and Abaddon's only iron. So definitely a lot of opportunities here too for improvements. For the Alpha Big Target, The auto-suggested team is again the only one I can pick as I don't have Morven Vale. You can see that I have Revas, Boss Golgort, and Snapareka at gold. Snapareka has been raised to gold since the last time I did this event, so that's already an improvement. The last two, Volk and Kutskoden, we already mentioned, and so we'll definitely need to be raising them up. In the Gamma Power battle, I could go with the auto-suggested team again, but I actually want to use Abaddon instead of Maladus for his boost to damage. I'm hoping that if I get Abaddon and Nauseous to back up Angrax, they will churn through enemies. Volk rounds off the team yet again. He is definitely proven to be a good pick in the Shadow Sun event. For the Beta Mech battle, there isn't much to say. This is one of my strongest teams, and the only things I'm trying to improve here are bringing Aleph Null and Makotep to Legendary, but more on that later. I imagine this team will do rather well compared to last time. For the Alpha Min 4 Hits battle and Alpha Power battle, I have a couple of choices to make. The first 4 characters in each event is rather easy. I'm going to take Angrax, Bellator, Revas and Nauseous Rotbone, then Angrax, Marnius Calgar, Commissar Yarrick, and again Nauseous Rotbone. The auto-suggested says that I should pair these with Gibba Scraps and then Aryak, but I know something the auto-suggested bot doesn't know. I want to level Morgan Ra to gold so that I can use him in the same Han Elite campaign that should be opening up in the next month or so. And with all that information, I can plug this into what needs leveled and prioritize them already. Firstly, I want to bring Volk and Abaddon to silver just because I've been doing some long grinds recently and it's fun to do some short, sweet grinds every now and again. Next, I will bring Archimatos, Harkin, World Claimer, and Nauseous Rotbone to gold. This is so I can push on with the Chaos Elite campaign, Fall of Cadia. Alongside that, I will bring Cut, Sybil, and Thaddeus to silver, and they will push on with the Fall of Cadia Mirror campaign. Finally, rounding up my team, I will bring Morgan Ra to gold as I mentioned before. And with all that information, I can plug this into my character planner, and I can see that I'm going to be done with leveling all these characters by around about October the 9th at the longest. And due to guild rewards, tournament energy, and other things, it'll definitely be quicker than this. For now though, that gives me a really good plan to get going with. Okay, let's move on to Ascensions. My focus for Ascensions has changed recently. For the longest time I was just focused on making sure that everyone that I was trying to get to gold was at the epic level needed. Currently, I've got most of the characters I need to epic level, so I've been focusing recently on bringing some of my main characters to legendary level. I did Angrax, Revas, Calandus, Aryak and Archimatos recently. Right now, I'm focused on Aleph Null and Isabella, and as you can see, they're going to be finished pretty shortly. In fact, Isabella finished today, and so let's look at her ascending together. So next up after them is going to be Bellator and maybe Makotep. This is just to get beefier spawns from Bellator and then better mechanical heals from Makotep, so I'll add them to my list. Finally, let's look at the skills. The reason that skills comes last is that it's usually tied in with everything above. As I level my characters and as I ascend them, I need to level up their skills as well. I'm about to finish Isabella and Aleph Null, so they are going to be the characters that I start to skill up. As they're expensive, I will have to save up gold for them until I'm ready. Thankfully, the recent anniversary event meant that I already have about 200k gold, so I'm in pretty good shape there. I also need to make sure that I have enough XP tomes to level them up, and so I've been saving these for a while too, especially from the guild shop where I buy a Codex of War every day. After that, it will just follow the other characters, Bellator and Makotep, once they're legendary in order to get them leveled up. When I was starting out though, I really focused on healers and spawning characters, so if you're a newer player, that's a really good place to start. So to conclude, this is what I focus on when I'm starting to plan my monthly leveling. For the character shards, I will look at all the characters that don't cost 500 shards. I will try and do 1 per month with an absolute maximum of 2, and then I'll prioritize the characters I need for campaigns and then legendary events. For leveling, I will prioritize the legendary events, then campaigns. The reason for this is that legendary events are more difficult, and as I start to level up the characters for the legendary events, they usually start to be leveled for the campaigns anyway. For Ascension, I try and prioritize the characters I'm trying to get to epic, then I'll prioritize the characters I'm trying to get to legendary. For newer players, you're probably trying to get them to rare for the silver ranks or uncommon for the bronze ranks. Just keep going through the list until you get all the characters to the level you need them to be. For skills, I will prioritize the top characters like Isabella's Medicus Ministorum or Angrax's Hateful Assault. I feel that these are so impactful in so many areas, it's really worth prioritizing them. Then I'll prioritize healing skills like Makotep's Relentless March or Aleph Null's Fabricator Claw Array. This makes your characters heal much more. After this, I'll prioritize characters that spawn stuff like Revas's Early Warning Override, or Bellator's Death from Above. These make your spawning characters much deadlier and tougher. Then I prioritize buffing guild, raid, or arena characters. For example, Marnius Calgar's Rites of Battle or Eldrion's Doom. Both of these increase the damage significantly of your other characters. And so that's everything I'll do. I'll finish putting all this into my sheet, I'll have a look and see where I need to go, and then I'll start marking them off as I get through the month. I hope this was useful to you. If you have any questions or feedback for the video, then feel free to ask me below.